Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Cristin, and today I just need to rant a little bit. Feeling a certain kind of way about something that's happened here recently here in my neighborhood, and I talked about it a little bit with the Get Ready With Me that was up on Monday, so if you watched that, then you probably already know this is about my neighbor's cat getting abandoned. And I will also be doing an update video to this in the next week or two. I think that video is supposed to go up after Christmas because I'm testing out some Ulta makeup. But this is like the whole story right here. And I'm making it because I was finally able to catch her. So when you guys watch the update video on that next, like trying out Ulta makeup, I mean, you guys already know what's going on. So here's the whole story, and I just want to start off by saying, like, the reason I'm heated about this is because it's not right and it's not fair to her. Like, this is not how you dispose of an animal you can't keep anymore, okay? Like, if you cannot keep your pet anymore, and if you don't have the time or the ability to try to rehome them yourself, take them to the Humane Society. Like, that is what the Humane Society is there for. I know they get a bad rap because some of them do, you know, put animals down. Some of them are kill shelters, but not all of them are kill shelters. Another one here in my area is not a kill shelter. They do everything they can possible to place animals in homes. You can see them like on local Facebook groups and stuff, like really advertising and pushing the pets that they have and really trying to get them homes. They work with several other organizations to like showcase the animals best that they can, going to local pet stores, and like our local Petco, they don't sell puppies or dogs, but the Humane Society brings dogs and cats there that people can look at, so they're like from the Humane Society. You know, the Humane Society really tries. And for people who have a no kill shelter in their area, assuming they work like the one here in my area, what will happen is your animal will go to the shelter. Depending on capacity, they'll have about 2 weeks, so 14 days, and then they'll get moved to another shelter, and they'll get about 14 days there. And that's kind of how it works out until, unfortunately, they probably will end up at a kill shelter, but like they really try. And a lot of the animals do get homes, and some of them get to stay there a lot longer. It just depends on their capacity. And I know for cats can be hard to place, but in my personal community, not only will the shelter try really hard to place her, but if they can't, there is like a cat rescue here that will try really hard with her. And my local Humane Society is being completely rebuilt. I think they're supposed to open in January, and they're going to have a cat cafe, so there's going to be like a lot of extra space for cats. So I feel very confident in taking her to the Humane Society, and hopefully this just gives her the best chance to find a home, because she is such a sweet little cat. I'll insert a picture now. She is so sweet. She's cold, she's scared, she's hungry, and for good reason. She's been completely abandoned. But she's super sweet, and I'm fully confident that she will find a home. I mean, she's pure white, which that's like something popular people like to get, is like unique looking animals. So like, she's pure white, she's super sweet. So like, I'm fully confident she will find a home. But if you have to get rid of your pet, like, try your best to try to find them a home on your own. But if you can't, take them to Humane Society. Don't just dump them out. That's not fair to them. It's cold outside, they get hungry, they don't know how to fend for themselves, and it's completely unfair to them. So here's the story of my neighbor's cat, pretty much, and what's been going on here for the past couple of weeks. Not weeks, probably last week. So maybe 2 weeks? I think it's a week. Anyways, my neighbors got evicted from their home. They've been there for a very long time, and it turns out that the woman, because it was like a husband and wife, and then like they broke up, so now it's just the wife. Her name was Ashley. She got up with some guy, they got into smoking meth, she lost her job, they got 2 months behind on rent, and they waited until the very last minute to move. I found this all out by talking to another neighbor who actually like talks to them and stuff. I never really talked to them a lot, just kind of like said hi or whatever, but I never really got to know them. And the neighbor on the other side, who I have gotten to know, also got to know the neighbor in between us. So she said that Ashley shows up on her door one day with her boyfriend, is like, the sheriff is coming to evict us, can we put things on your porch? which I think when you get evicted, like, I think they give you ample time to get out. I could be wrong because I've never been evicted before, but I think they are supposed to give you like 30 days or something. And I mean, if you're not paying your rent, you know you're going to be getting kicked out. So you would think you'd be making arrangements for everything anyways. And my neighbor said that she was like 2 months behind on rent. So, I mean, that's 2 months that you know you're not paying your rent. You should be making arrangements. So the day that she gets kicked out, she puts some things on my other neighbor's back porch and they up and leave. And then all of a sudden, I start seeing this little white cat running around, which I knew they had a white cat. I never really seen it up close, but I knew they had a white cat. I know it had gotten out before. They at one point had 2 white cats. One of them got out back in like the spring, and I don't know if they just never got it back. I don't really know. That one's not running around, so maybe it has been gone for a really long time. But this other white cat just kind of showed up. And at first, like, I didn't know what was going on with my neighbors. I thought maybe they were moving out. Like I said, I never really talked to them much. And I caught their cat and I put it on their porch thinking, okay, you know, she just got out, whatever, I'll put her on the porch, and when my neighbor gets home from work, she'll find her cat and they'll all go back inside. Because her cat is an inside cat. It's always been an inside cat. I see them in the window, or used to see both of them in the window. Now I only would see the one in the window. But she was an inside cat and always had been. They got them since they were like little tiny kittens, always inside cats. So obviously, like, they don't know how to fend for themselves. They're not used to being outside. And so anyways, I put her on the back porch. And then that afternoon when I come home, I see her running around back outside. So I think, okay, either she got out or my neighbors don't want her anymore and they just let her out. Well, then a few days later, I find out that she got evicted, my neighbor. And at this point, I had already made the decision that if I was able to catch the cat, I would take it to the Humane Society. But then, of course, once I found out that my neighbor got evicted, it just like further solidified that idea that, you know, I need to catch her and take her to the Humane Society. Because when I first seen her, like, she was cold and hungry and came to me for food. And so I was able to put her up on the back porch. And then I got a hold of her one other time, but it was over the weekend. And my Humane Society is not open on the weekends. Well, they're open on Saturdays, but I think this was like after hours because they close earlier. And like, I can't bring her into my house and let her go because I have 2 adult male cats and a dog. And I wasn't sure how they were going to do. I also have my son to consider. I don't know how she does with babies and infants. And that's like a stressful situation to bring a cat who's, you know, been thrown out and hasn't been fed. You know, that's just like a really stressful situation. So I didn't catch her because I thought she was better off. You know, I just gave her some food and let her take up underneath my neighbor's house. Their house has like holes in the foundation. So like cats get up under there. Sometimes groundhogs get under there. The house is in bad shape. But I just let her go for the weekend. And then I seen her one other time, but I wasn't able to get a hold of her. And my husband and I were hanging up Christmas lights, and we had our garage door open, and she was trying to get inside of our garage. But then she seen us, and she took off and ran. So today I was actually able to catch her. It took me about 30 minutes to coax her out from underneath of the foundation, but she was super hungry, and I was able to get hold of her. So now she's currently on my back porch in a crate, and she's got food. And I put like a towel over the crate so that my animals can't disturb her, and she's very quiet back there. There's a big part of me that wants to keep her. Like, I kind of want another cat. But my husband has pretty hardly nixed, like he's pretty harsh on nixing the idea of getting an adult cat. I want a kitten also, like I would be happy with her, but I also want a kitten. My mother-in-law's cats had kittens, and so I want one of those as well. And he doesn't want one of those, but he seems more open to it, so we'll see what happens there. But if it's up to him, like, we won't be getting any more pets. Which I have to respect that because, you know, it's our home jointly. We have to agree on, you know, if we expand the family or not. Excuse me, I have a cold. It's been kicking my butt. So anyways, I've caught her. It sounds like my son just woke up from a nap, so I'm going to be taking her up to the Humane Society and taking her in and hopefully giving her the best chance, and hopefully she'll get a family. She's a sweet little cat. She is so sweet. But I'm so mad at my neighbors, and I'm also really mad at their landlord because my neighbors, it was their responsibility. They knew for 2 months that they didn't pay rent, that they would be getting evicted. And so that meant for 2 months that they had time, ample time, to be finding a home for their cat if they weren't going to be taking it with them. Granted, they were smoking meth, so I mean, thank God they're away from my house, and hopefully they weren't cooking it, and if they were, like, thank God they're gone. But, you know, a responsible person would have found a home for their pet. Granted, a responsible person also wouldn't have been smoking meth. I also say that I blame the landlord because I'm pretty sure the landlord let the cat out to begin with instead of taking it to the Humane Society, because they left like all of their things. They just left. And I have a feeling that the cat got left as well, because the same day I seen the cat out there, I seen the landlord there loading up a truck with all of their things. Of course, I didn't know that the landlord was evicting them. I thought they were moving or something. I didn't really know what was going on at the time. And I thought maybe their cat just got out because they were moving or getting rid of stuff. So I'm like 99% sure that the landlord threw the cat out of the house instead of taking it to the Humane Society, which would have been the responsible thing to do. And then again, when I caught the cat and put it back on their porch, the landlord let it out again instead of taking it to the Humane Society. So I know it's really shitty on his part, and it's also really shitty on their part that they didn't do the best thing for that animal, which was taking it up to the Humane Society. Instead, they just like threw it out, which, you know, we don't live out in the country. We live in the city. There's busy highways. People's random dogs get out. There's like possums and groundhogs and the other things that could like attack her. Like, she's an inside cat. Like, she doesn't know how to defend herself. Granted, my husband did tell me that I could keep her as an outside cat if I wanted to, but it is so cold here and I feel so bad for her. Like, of course, she's used to being an inside cat. I don't know that she really has much for a winter coat. She doesn't feel much thicker than Banjo, which he's my short hair cat that is inside. Our cats are inside cats. Her coat, she's a short hair as well, doesn't feel any thicker than Banjo's coat. And you know, I was thinking about keeping her outside. I was doing lots and lots of research on having an outside cat. I was thinking about ways that, like, you know, we could put a doggy door in the garage and she could take up in the garage, or, oh hey, they've got like these heated outside cat houses we could get her, and all these other things. And I was thinking about all the medical costs that go into it, because I don't know if she's been spayed or not. I don't think that she has, because I remember talking to my neighbors one time and they said that their cats were spraying really bad, and I was like, oh well, you should get them spayed, because, you know, when they're fixed, like, they're less likely to do it. I know my cats, we fixed them when they were like 2 months old. Banjo was 2 months, Oliver was about 4, and they've never sprayed. I don't think they even know how. So I don't know if she's spayed or neutered. That would need to be done along with all the shots. And of course, I know if we get a kitten, we would need to do all of that as well. But I was just thinking about all of the costs that would go into having an outside pet, and then the thought that, you know, what if she just takes off and runs away? Or what if my neighbors come back around? I know that the husband to this lady, like, still comes over and hangs out with our other neighbors sometimes, and like maybe he would see her and decide, oh, there's my cat, I'm gonna take it back. And so I would hate to invest all this money into this cat and then she disappears, and then I would be out several $100s. So I feel like, you know, if we get another cat, I would want them to be an inside cat. I would just feel safer about the whole situation. Like, I would, you know, wouldn't worry about them like up and disappearing or getting attacked by another animal. I wouldn't have to worry about them being cold. And my husband has put the next on having adopting an adult cat. Like, that's just his stipulations. I mean, he doesn't really want to adopt any more cats at all anyways. He's trying to talk me out of the kitten. So I think that the best chance for this cat is taking her up to the Humane Society, and hopefully somebody will adopt her and give her a wonderful home, because she's super, super sweet. And it just makes me so mad that people do this with their pets. They just so easily just dispose of them and just throw them out, and it's so messed up, because they have feelings too. Like, she is scared and she's hungry and she doesn't know what's going on. I know she was really close with the neighbor's daughter. Like, the daughter was like super into her cats and would talk about them all the time, and which I feel so bad for that kid. I mean, granted, she's like 16 or 17, but it's like, you know, her mom's smoking dope. Like, it's just a messed up situation all the way around. But what I can do is I can take the cat to the Humane Society and give it the best chance possible. So that's what I'm going to do. And I just want to put this out there for anyone who has an animal that they need to get rid of. Like, do your best to rehome it yourself. And if you can't, take it to the Humane Society. The Humane Society is not like the worst thing possible. The worst thing possible is being thrown out in the middle of winter in like 30-degree weather or lower, freezing, possibly freezing to death, starving to death, like getting attacked by another animal, being poisoned or injured by a person. There are so many worse things that could happen to an animal than being put to the Humane Society and then the Humane Society having to put them down. You know, like, at least that death is kinder if it comes to that, which hopefully it won't. I really hope that it doesn't come to that. But if it does, being euthanized is so much kinder than starving to death or freezing to death or being kicked in the ribs. I had a dog get out one time. He was an inside dog, but he got out and he got kicked in the ribs, and it was like really bad. It broke his ribs. People can be so cruel to animals that they don't know. And so I just had to talk about this. So it looks like I have like 5 minutes here left on my camera, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. Sounds like my son's up, so we're gonna take this sweet girl up to the Humane Society. People, please just be responsible for your pets. If you get a pet, be responsible for it, and then that follows all the way through to the end, whether that means that you keep them until they die, or if that means that you can't keep them any longer and you have to find them a new home. Do what's right for them and find them that home, or take them to the Humane Society. Don't just throw them outside. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Sorry it's not like a normal regular video. I just had to talk about this. So I will see you in my next one. Bye.